fucking
We
bullshit,
get it right
dude.
here.
This is why you cannot be blinded by this last second, like, oh, come on, we're all just friends over here. Come on, Trump has gone really out of control bullshit, okay? They are all fucking crooks. And I'll take it one step further. The Democrats that also try to normalize this sort of behavior from the Republicans that make it seem like they're all just like, oh yeah, we're all just getting together. We're all just colleagues, aren't we? They're fucking crooks too. These fucking pieces of shit, dude.
That maybe I, above all others in this body, need to say this. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are lawfully elected and will become the president and the vice president of the United States on January the 20th.
I mean, this is just like, this is a performance. It's a facade. That's all this is. It's theater. They are acting like the past fucking 4 years didn't happen in one last-ditch effort.
All time has expired. The question is, shall the objections submitted by the gentleman from Arizona, Mr.
Feeling guilty
Gosar,
as
and
fuck?
the
No,
senator
they're
from
not.
Texas, Mr. Cruz, and
No.
others, be
They're
sustained?
using this as an opportunity to wash themselves of the sin of defending Donald Trump literally until the last moment. They could have stopped Trump a month ago. They could have stopped Trump 2 months ago. They could have sided with the truth, and
Is there a
liberals
second?
still would have fucking hugged and kissed them.
There
and
is.
they still are going to hug and kiss them
Clerk
after
will
this.
call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin. No. Mr. Barrasso.
You don't get to fucking
Mr.
bully
Bennett.
the disabled kids
Mrs.
for the entire
Blackburn.
school year, and then on the last day of class say,
Blumenthal.
oops, sorry, and then come back next year to do the exact
Mr.
same
Blunt.
shit. Okay?
Mr. Booker.
You don't feel guilt.
Mr. Bozeman. Mr. Braun.
What do you want to hear the votes, man? You already know what the fucking total is going to
Mr.
be.
Brown. Mr. Burr.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham personally called for Republican states
Ms.
and partisan
Cantwell.
electors literally commit voter fraud. He literally tried to
Mrs.
pressure.
Capito.
He literally tried to pressure the Georgia representatives,
Mr.
dude.
Cardin.
Or the Georgia Secretary of State.
Mr. Carper. Mr. Casey. Mr. Cassidy. Ms. Collins. Mr. Coons. Mr. Cornyn. Ms. Cortez Masto. Mr. Cotton. Mr. Kramer. Mr. Crapo.
Crapo.
Mr. Cruz. Mr. Daines. Ms. Duckworth. Mr. Durbin. Ms. Ernst. Mrs. Feinstein. Mrs. Fisher. Mrs. Gillibrand. Mr. Graham. Mr. Grassley. Mr. Haggerty. Ms. Harris. Ms. Hassan. Mr. Holy. Mr. Heinrich. Mr. Hickenlooper. Ms. Hirono. No. Mr. Hoven. I got excited. Mrs. Hyde-Smith. Mr. Inhofe. No. Mr. Johnson. No. Mr. Kane. No. Mr. Kelly. No. Mr. Kennedy. Aye. Mr. King. No. Ms. Klobuchar. Mr. Langford. Mr. Leahy. Mr. Lee.
No.
Mrs. Leffler. Mr. Lujan. Ms. Lummis. Mr. Manchin. Mr. Markey. Mr. Marshall. Mr. McConnell. Mr. Menendez. Mr. Merkley. Mr. Moran. Ms. Murkowski. Mr. Murphy. Mrs. Murray. Mr. Paul. Mr. Peters. Mr. Portman. Mr. Reed. Mr. Risch. Mr. Romney. Ms. Rosen. Mr. Rounds. Mr. Rubio. Mr. Sanders. Mr. Sass. Mr. Schatz. Mr. Schumer. Mr. Scott of Florida. Mr. Scott of South Carolina. Mrs. Shaheen. Mr. Shelby. Ms. Sinema. Ms. Smith. Ms. Stabenow. Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Tester. Mr. Thune. Mr. Tillis. Mr. Toomey. Mr. Tuberville. Mr. Van Hollen.
Cinemas with an S.
Mr. Warner.
Tommy
Ms.
Tuberville.
Warren. Mr. Whitehouse. Mr. Wicker. Mr. Wyden. Mr. Young.
No, I can't switch. Everyone's mad at me. They want to hear every single vote cast. As though it's important. You can't even hear it, but it doesn't matter. People in the audience needed to hear it. Without getting too political, how many monkeys is too many? What does that even mean? Bro, what is this community's obsession with, like, dude, look at this monkey. Dude, you need to look at this rock right now. Did you see this opal? Bro, look at how pretty this monkey is. Holy shit. Did I run an ad at the top of the hour? Is it fucking 7 p.m. already? I did. Okay. No, I ran one, right? I ran one already, right? I ran it early, right? Yes or no? Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. You didn't run an ad. I don't know anymore. Not getting political. Why don't they have red, white, and blue carpets in there? Felix donated monkey video for sure. You didn't run an ad? Good news though, all gas Save the Children rally video is out. That is good news. Okay, let's move on to fucking the house.
Or what might
All
seriously
right,
have gone
it's top of the
wrong.
hour every hour. I'm
Even
running an
if
ad.
You reject the notion.
You did in fact
result
run
is-
an ad. It was for the votes in the Senate.
I'd like to offer a slightly different.
I did, right? Is
perspective,
DTS off?
a
Yeah, right
distinct
now.
Perspective. Perhaps it will be rejected. I think if I were sitting
No,
on the
you
other
didn't.
side of
No,
the aisle, it would be very difficult for me to
No,
listen
tell
to
me if I
tonight,
did
but
or not.
You all have heard it said, and it certainly is true, that many executive branch officials around the nation departed from state legislatures, enacted laws. I think it's less understood how this came to pass. It was
You didn't
not
run an
a
ad? Okay.
spontaneous, independent
Top of the hour every hour.
decision-making,
Time for a 60-second ad break.
but it resulted,
I'm running
I
it
would
right
argue,
now.
from a coordinated
Apologies
nationwide
if
partisan
you saw an
plan.
ad. But here it is.
And the fact
Just
and
60
scope
seconds.
of the plan, it really isn't disputed. If you go to democracydocket.com, it is the website of Mark Elias, the National Democratic
Okay, I'm going back to
election
Tucker
lawyer,
Carlson.
who appeared in hundreds of cases across the country in the course of the election year.
I do not have a system
this
for
plan
this
was
yet.
not a response to
I rely on my chat. Literally, my chat tells me when I run ads and not. All right, let's finish this fucking dumbass rant that I was in the middle of when everyone was like, oh my God, you have to watch Lindsey Graham. He's really spitting right now. You have to watch Lindsey Graham do his tight five. He is kind of killing it, is what some of you literally sounded like. Let's finish this fucking WASP nationalist dipshit. Talk about how it's actually the liberals that are really violent, and how it's actually liberals that are the reason why, Trump supporters stormed the fucking halls of Congress today. Ay, ay, ay. He is just, he really does it for me, dude. Tucker Carlson gets me in a way that is difficult to describe.
But the opposite is also true. If people begin to believe that their democracy is fraudulent, if they conclude that voting is a charade, that the system is rigged and it's run in secret by a small group of powerful, dishonest people who are acting in their own interests, then God knows what could happen. Actually, we do know what could happen. It's happening right now.
Because a group of secret people tilted the balance in favor of the Democratic Party. And that's why these people that stormed the Capitol are justified. That's what Tucker Carlson is saying, by the way. Just remember, that's what he's saying currently.
It's happened in countless other countries over countless centuries. And the cycle is always the same because human nature never changes. Listen to us, screams the population. Shut up and do what you're told, reply their leaders. In the face of dissent, the first instinct of illegitimate leadership is to crack down on the population. But crackdowns never make it better. Instead, they always make the country more volatile and more dangerous. The people in charge really understand that. They don't want to. They don't care to learn or listen because all of this conversation is a referendum on them and their leadership. So they clamp down harder. Obey, I tell you, obey. This is the Romanov program. It ends
On this vote, the
badly
yeas are
every
6,
single
the
time.
nays are 93. The objection is not sustained. The Secretary will notify the House of the action of the Senate, informing that body that the Senate is now ready to proceed to joint session with further counting of the electoral vote for President and Vice President. Majority Leader.
Mr. President. So, colleagues, here's where we are. We have a few more speakers now as we wait for the House to finish their debate and vote. We expect the House to finish voting on Arizona between 11:30 and midnight. I ask unanimous consent the Senate be in a period of morning business with the following senators permitted to speak therein for up to 5 minutes each: Senator Toomey, Senator Rubio, Senator Collins.
And on our side, Senators Wyden, Hirono, and Coons.
Finally, following their remarks, the Senate stand in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
No.
Maybe not. Maybe not. We may have. Okay, so we'll figure it out.
The Senate would be in a period of morning business with the following senators permitted to speak therein for up to 5 minutes each: Toomey, Rubio, Collins.
Wyden, Hirono, and Coons.
Without objection.
It is kind of funny. I guess let it be a moment of solace that all of these fucking 80-year-old freaks have to stay up way past their bedtime now.
This isn't yours, right?
I guess the little victories.
So we're in recess.
I have no idea what's going on. Are they in recess or not? Did they? I guess they are. Another YouTube link for on the coverage for after. Oh, thanks. Okay. Let's finish this Tucker Carlson video, please.
But that doesn't mean they won't try it again. Of course they will, because it's their nature. It's how we got here in the first place. Millions of Americans sincerely believe the last election was fake. You can dismiss them as crazy. You can call them conspiracy theorists. You can kick them off Twitter.
I mean, they are.
But that won't change their minds. Rather than trying to change their minds, to convince them and reassure them that the system is real, that the democracy works, as you would do if you cared about the country or the people who live here, our new leaders will try to silence them. What happened today will be used by the people taking power to justify stripping you of the rights you were born with as an American. Your right to speak without being censored, your right to assemble, to not be spied upon, to make a living, to defend your family, most critically. These are the most basic and ancient freedoms that we have. They're why we live here in the first place. They're why we're proud to be Americans. They're what make us different. And they're all now in peril. When thousands of your countrymen storm the Capitol building, you don't have to like it. We don't. You can be horrified by the violence, and as we said, and we'll say it again, we are horrified. It's wrong. But if you don't bother to pause and learn a single thing from it, from your citizens storming your Capitol building, then you're a fool.
Yeah. No, for real. I mean, I said this earlier today as well. But it's people like you, Tucker, that have created this environment. It's people like you who defend the Republicans and the Democrats, too, from time to time, that have created this environment of instability. This didn't happen in a vacuum, just like Donald Trump is not the reason why everything fell apart. Okay? Donald Trump is merely a symptom and not the disease itself. The system is fundamentally broken, and anyone who does not speak out against the status quo, or even worse, acts like the system is broken exclusively so they can reinforce the dominant hierarchy of white supremacy. Because that's what Tucker Carlson does. Oh, the system is so broken. We really care about the workers, which is why we should make sure that immigrants are locked away in concentration camps forever. Like, that's Tucker Carlson's entire shtick. Oh, I just want like a little bit of socialism, but like not really. But even if we gave a little bit of socialism, it would be for just, you know, the workers that deserve it, the American, the folk, the folkish Americans, you know, the real Americans, not those unwashed immigrants that are coming over the border and bringing in disease. That's literally what Tucker Carlson has said, by the way. Stop saying folks with an X. Volk is the way that Nazis did the exact same kind of propagandizing that Tucker is doing. And ironically, Tucker, just like the Nazis, is very much in support of big business, just like the fascists were. Volks. So yeah, we do have to look at the problems. But the problems are not immigration. The problems are those who use immigration to deflect away from the actual problems. It's not because some fucking law-abiding abuela came over the goddamn border last year with her child in tow. That's not the reason why you don't have health care. Okay? Well, not you. Tucker is a quadrillionaire Swanson Frozen Food Dynasty recipient, or an heir to the Swanson Frozen Food Dynasty. I mean, his literal fucking... His brother's last name is like Buckley, okay? Or not last name. His brother's middle name is Buckley. All right? That's all you need to know about their family. That's why he's always been and will continue to be a real libertarian, a right-winger. He can talk about how much he hates Jeff Bezos all he wants. But the people that he ends up defending are the ones who literally unshackle regulation so that Jeff Bezos can justify the horrific work practices that that his company benefits from. Okay? Matt Gaetz is covering for Trump. I'm going to finish this. I don't give a fuck.
You lack wisdom and you lack self-awareness. You have no place
We'll get to
running
Matt
a
Gaetz
country.
in a second.
We got to this sad, chaotic day for a reason. It is not your fault. It is their fault.
No, it's Tucker Carlson's fault. Let's watch Matt Gaetz now.
But the Washington Times has just reported some pretty compelling evidence from a facial recognition company showing that some of the people who breached the Capitol today were not Trump supporters. They were masquerading as Trump supporters and, in fact, were members of the violent terrorist group Antifa. Now, we should seek to build America up, not tear.
If you don't crack Matt Gaetz as a representative, you're sitting there right now, you don't punch Matt Gaetz in the back of the dome, like you're not for me. You don't represent my interests. In a video game, of course. Who the fuck is clapping
Now,
for this
I appreciate
shit?
all the talk. Now, I appreciate all the talk of coming together, but let us not pretend that our colleagues on the left have been free of some anti-democratic impulses just because we signed on to legal briefs and asked courts to resolve disputes. There were some on the left who said that we should not even be seated in the body, that we ought to be prosecuted, maybe even jailed. Those arguments anger people, but people do understand the concepts of basic fairness. And no competition, contest, or election can be deemed fair if the participants are subject to different rules.
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I hope every single day he suffers as much as the suffering he's brought upon the American people. I hope he feels at least a fraction of the suffering every single day for the rest of his life.
Stripped of their electors. This fraud was systemic.
I'm trying to be as kind as I'm thinking very like terms of service violation things right now, way worse than Dan Crenshaw. And I'm not going to say it, but I wish it in my mind. I really do. The things I wish for Matt Gaetz.
They went and pressured and litigated.
Matt wore a fucking gas mask to the halls of the Congress gates to delegitimize COVID, to make fun of it.
Laundered ballots, votes, voter registration forms, and then they limited review. In 2016, Democrats found out that they couldn't beat Donald Trump at the ballot box with voters who actually show up, so they turned to impeachment and the witness box. And when that failed, they ran to the mailbox, where this election saw an unprecedented amount of votes that could not be authenticated with true ID, with true signature match, and with true confidence for the American people. Our Article III courts have failed by not holding evidentiary hearings to weigh the evidence. We should not join in that failure. We should vindicate the rights of states. We should vindicate the subpoenas in Arizona that have been issued to get a hold of these voting machines, and we should reject these electors. I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Colorado seek recognition?
Madam Speaker,
If there was a shred of justice on this planet,
Objection to
there was a shred of justice in this universe, if there was any sort of like karmic justice, cosmic justice, if this world was just, equal, and true,
Thank you, Madam
Matt
Speaker, and
Gates
thank the gentleman-
would
lady from
feel
Colorado for yielding
the
time.
suffering that he
I'll be very
causes
brief, Madam
millions
Speaker. There's really nothing
with
left to
both
say.
his words, his action, and at times his inaction every
Members
single day
of,
for the rest of his
this
life.
House, Republican
But he
members
won't.
from this House from Arizona, and a
He
senator
won't.
from Texas. The whole discussion today, this challenge to the 11 electoral votes that are designated for President Biden and Vice President Harris.
Someone said he got thrown in jail for drunk driving. He's from Florida, brother. That's literally that's a precursor. You have to get a drunk driving charge to become a congressperson in Florida.
There's no legal standing.
Everybody
The courts
knows
have
this is in the
proven
rule
that
book.
In Arizona, time and time
You
again.
have to either like kill an intern or something, or get a
No
DUI charge.
constitutional violation. But we're here today, Madam Speaker, because of
Yeah,
the
DUIs in Florida are
because of
like
one
getting
man
baptized, brother. It's the Florida
and
state
those
sport.
who are desperate to please him. So what do we have to show for this process today? Fear, a lockdown, violence, and regrettably and sadly death, arrests, present and real danger, threats, and assault on our institution, this House, this Congress, and the very democracy that we practice here. And to what end? What did we accomplish? The reality is that the challenge will be defeated come January 20th. President Biden and President Harris will be the President and Vice President of the United States. So what have we accomplished? To further divide this nation, to continue to fan the same rhetoric of division and us versus them, to paralyze and dismantle our democracy? Is that what we're attempting to accomplish today? The mob that attacked this institution, I hold no member specifically responsible for that madness that was around us. But we do share a responsibility, my friends, to end it. It's past time to accept reality, to reaffirm our democracy, and move on. I would urge my colleagues from Arizona who filed this challenge to withdraw their challenge to Arizona and to the electors that have been chosen to give their 11 votes to the winners in that election. But if that doesn't happen, then I would urge my colleagues to reject this challenge and defend all voters, defend the voters of Arizona, and that democracy that we practice daily in the representation of our constituents. That's what's at stake today. And with that, I yield back to the gentlelady from Colorado and thank her for the time.
I thank the gentleman. Madam Speaker, on Sunday, every member in this chamber took an oath to uphold the Constitution. And there's only one vote tonight for those who took that oath, and that vote is to reject this challenge. I yield back.
All the time for debate has expired. The question is, shall the objection to the Arizona Electoral College vote count submitted by the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Gozar, and the senator from Texas, Mr. Cruz, be agreed to? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no? No! Opinion of the chair, the noes have it.
Speaker?
For what purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
We'd ask for a roll call.
The yeas and nays have been requested pursuant to Section 3S of House Resolution 8. The yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device and are reminded to vote when their group is called.
Hey man, you may not know me, but you have an absolute dumpster. Thank you. Are any progressives gonna speak? No. I mean, this is boring as fuck, but it's process. Process is always fucking boring. Let me tell you something. None of this shit matters. There you go. That's my thoughts on it. I mean, this is just like, it's just this. They're just jerking off. I fucking hate Matt Gaetz so much, dude. Holy shit. God damn, what a fucking piece of shit. Oh my God, I can't get over it. These votes do matter. Splitting the GOP is great. No, the fuck it's not, dude. It's not splitting the GOP. They know they're playing out their role. They know that none of it matters. Like the GOP doesn't operate like the Democratic Party does, where there's like legitimate progressives and then the rest is like establishment. It operates as like there are some psychos and some people that are like, you know, Trump. They have like a big Trump constituency. And they're going to play out their role, but ultimately everybody fucking knows that Donald Trump's no longer the president. And they don't really care about the actions. They don't really care about the consequences of what they say. It's bullshit. Why do you think they defended Trump this entire fucking time? Are they going to do this whole thing for every swing state? No. The GOP still voting to reject? They're just trying to court his base's vote for when they run. This is some victory dividing them. Exactly. The GOP will rarely ever have like a divisive moment. The GOP is not going to have like a real a point of contention amongst itself. Maybe like sometimes the Freedom Caucus will like act out and be like, no, we're too Republican for you. But ultimately, there is no level to the cruelty that they will subject the American people to with both their actions and sometimes, as I mentioned, their inaction. It doesn't matter. It is literally endless. That's why they could get along with Trump so well while still simultaneously being like, oh my God, I hate him. Ben Sass, Jeff Flake, the OG Never Trump Republicans, like, they were all still voting with the and caucusing with the Republican Party 90% of the way with along with Donald Trump. Why? But they aesthetically kept saying, "Oh no, sir! How dare you, sir?" Why did they do that? They did that because Donald Trump was a regular fucking Republican, and his agenda was regular Republican agenda. Some of the squad, like AOC, voted for her. They had there's no other person to vote for. Who are you going to vote for? Kevin McCarthy?
Left is kind of going crazy. The left has become psychotic and it truly terrifies me.
It's embarrassing.
The left has gone insane, or it's been taken over by complete psychopaths, and it really does terrify me today.
Let's have trial by combat.
The Democrats have gone off the rails, absolutely, in my opinion. This should be enough data to show you it's the Democrats going crazy. Now, I think
Did they actually end up putting, hold on. I need to check to see if they like put the person getting shot in this video just to be safe. I don't think they would, but still. They didn't.
Gone off the rails, absolutely, in my opinion. This should be enough data to show you it's the Democrats going crazy. Now, I think Republicans got to rein it in a little bit for sure, but the Democrats have lost it.
Yeah! Thank you, President Trump!
What's happening to people to precipitate this kind of complete psychosis that is affecting the left?
One woman has been shot.
And I'm going to make the bold statement that the left is trapped in a paranoid, delusional state. And I've got evidence to back this up. They're in an anger-induced, paranoid, delusional state.
Staff and members in the Capitol are being evacuated.
Paranoid delusions come from the left.
We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election.
I can prove to you it's the left that's become a cult.
Who here is up to the task of not wearing a mask? Jesus is king, and it's time to let freedom ring.
My ideological vision of a world is very left-wing. But these people are nuts. What happens when moderate leftist Tim Pool calls out the insanity that is infecting the Democrats?
USA! USA! America!
The left is fractured completely. I'm evidence of it, right? So is Dave Rubin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so strange. Well, Dave Rubin doesn't even call himself a leftist anymore. And Tim Pool said he voted for Donald Trump and thought that Donald Trump was going to win every single state. Remember, never forget that Tim Pool literally said Donald Trump was going to win every single state, with the exception of Colorado, I believe. Even California, he would win, but not Colorado.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. Our country has had enough, and that's what this is all about.
Well, that's the end. The Democrats are going to go insane.
The joke is that Tim Pool says the left is crazy, but it's actually the right that's crazy. That's the joke. Yeah, where is moderate leftist Tim Pool talking about the civil war when you need him? When actually civil war is about to break out. Fox News reporting on the second impeachment. Oh, yo. From colleague John Roberts. A well-placed source tells me there's talk swirling among Republicans in Congress for a possible second impeachment proceeding and conviction against Trump to ensure he can't run for re-election. Who cares? Rudy Giuliani called the wrong senator to delay the voting. Audio transcript in the article. Shut the fuck up. Are you serious? Oh my god, how incompetent can he be, dude? Thank you for explaining the joke. You're welcome. Shut the fuck up.
Abrams said that this is a long shot. I mean, you would need a majority of the cabinet, and then you would need the ascension of the vice president. We saw Vice President Pence do something that he had never done before, which is create distance between himself and the president when he defied that demand that he act votes today, and when he gave that very strong speech condemning violence, which Donald Trump himself had not done, but going that next step to actually voting to effectively declare the president mentally unfit and to remove him from office. it's hard for me to imagine he gets there. I do not get the sense that he has been a big part of these negotiations, these talks, these discussions. But boy, that would be a big one to imagine Mike Pence taking that step. That's a huge one.
It is hard to imagine right now. I want to go back to Mary Bruce up covering Capitol Hill. So, Mary, we know that the House is going to vote later this evening on these Arizona objections. Are you picking up any more reporting on what the House and the Senate are going to do when they go back into joint session, which will be sometime around midnight?
Yeah, that's the big question, is what comes next? How long will this process drag out? Because initially we expected objections to 3 states in total, in addition to Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. It's not clear if that's going to end up happening, though. Many of those who had been previously objecting, many of those Republicans have obviously now changed course, come out and said, given what we saw today, they are no longer...
Oh, shit. Oh, nighttime police forces. Oh, yeah, the night shift is definitely hitting differently. Oh, they are Bill Dipperly. Oh, shit, dude. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Now that, my friends, is a little bit closer. Is this from the BLM protests or what's going on? Let me see. Let me just make sure that there isn't like any blood or anything here. Ooh, that is. Ooh, they got the long boys out baton wise. Oh, wow. God damn, is this how fucking so dark out they can't tell they're white people? What? This is crazy. I mean, that like he tripped and fell is like textbook police work, okay? That is like, oh, he tripped and fell near the fucking stairs is literally, oops, stepped on his head with my steel toe boots. Regular police work. That's light work. That's like in the manual, dude. Damn, dude, Proud Boy's about to be like ACAB all the way. I mean, what is this guy? What is he fucking... He's got like the Roman... What the fuck is he wearing, dude? Someone explain to me what this guy is wearing, dude. Why does he have knight armor? What the fuck? Bro, he went and got the Azeroth armor, dude. He went and fucking... He outbid Miska for the fucking paladin armor, dude. What is this shit? What? Bro, what gear is this, dude? I've never seen this. Yikes. They are bagging and tagging so quick, it's crazy. That's the lady. He literally pushes her over the fucking ridge, immediately zip ties. Look. Bro, if I see a dude, let me tell you something. If I see a dude with fucking... With those shoulder mounts or whatever the fuck, I'm running away, dude. There is no cause that's letting me get my ass cheeks clapped by his fucking baton that's like this big. Okay? My man has the fucking shoulder plates, dude. I'm peacing out. They're epaulets? Whatever. Okay, dude. Okay, you know what it's called. Okay. Wow. Guys, I would like to welcome a little bit of police brutality into the homes of some Trump supporters. Okay? Just welcome it into your home. When you get the absolute living shit kicked out of you by a dude who looks like he's got the Roman Royal Guard armor on for no reason whatsoever, maybe your opinion on how police brutality works in this country changes slightly. Who knows? For violating curfew, by the way, I'm just letting you know, this is a simple curfew violation. Still unacceptable, by the way, for the record. I just want to point that out. I don't give a fuck who they're beating the shit out of. You're not gonna find me getting excited about cops beating the shit out of people. Just because no cap, dude. It's still fucking a cap. That's bullshit. Yeah. That you think that's all right? You think that's acceptable? No, the fuck it's not. I don't give a shit that guy's a fucking Groiper Trump supporting Nazi. Okay? Because that other one is a Trump supporting Nazi too. It's literally Nazi on Nazi violence, bro. The guy who does that to his own, okay? The guy who does that to his own, that's pig on pig violence. You are currently watching slaughterhouse pigs fight one another, okay? The porky pig that does that to another hog is definitely going to do something infinitely worse to you. Could this close the gap a little bit? No. Absolutely not. I am literally House GOP Whip Steve Scalise were the points I just scored inside trading. What happened? What was the last gamba? I didn't see that. I didn't see what the last gamba was.